The Bomber Command Museum of Canada kicked off the season with their first event of the year over the weekend. As always, they ran up the engines on their pride and joy, the Avro Lancaster. Museum President Rob Pedersen says this could be the last time we'll see just two engines running on the Lancaster.
That's what we're hoping. We've got 4 engines ready to run. We've got a propeller in Calgary right now, and we've got a propeller in Winnipeg. So it's kind of a race to see which one comes through first, but our plan is hopefully by midsummer to be running 4 engines on the Lancaster.
Now, I guess the one question you probably hear more than anything is when are we going to see the Lancaster airborne, or will we ever?
Right now our plan is not to fly it. However, if somebody was to come along with $11 million, we might consider it. It's certainly an extensive tear down, rebuild, and then of course you've got the maintenance and the crew. So right now our goal is to be able to get it to a ground taxiable state, to actually get it to taxi back and forth. And again, we're not opposed to the idea of flying, but it's a little bit out of our reach.
Pedersen says they've got lots in store for this summer.
We've got a really full season coming up. We're going to be at the air shows. We've got the Dams Buster coming up in May. In June, we've got our Nanton Celebrates History. So that's where the entire town comes out and invites everybody down. So we got a really busy year this year.
Another big hit in the hangar at Nanton is the Mosquito fighter bomber being restored for the city of Calgary. Richard DeBoer is the president of the Calgary Mosquito Society. He says they're thrilled to have the Mosquito in Nanton as they get ready to start putting it back together.
Yeah, I am. I mean, it's amazing that we've managed to pull off everything that we have, considering that we started out way behind the goal line on this thing almost 6 years ago now. I mean, to actually have the airplane here, and I'll tell you what tickles me, is every time I come down the highway here, the great big sign in the parking lot that says, "The Mosquito is here, stop in and see it." And I mean, that kind of summarizes the joyful part of this for us.
Well, if you're a betting man, how long is it going to take to get this thing back to where you want it to be, and will it ever operate again?
Well, the standard of restoration on this is going to be the same as what the Bomber Command Museum here in Nanton has done with their Lancaster. So it will be a full static restoration, but with engines running. So one day when it's finished, we'll be able to pull it up beside their Lancaster and get this thing fired up as well. One
thing the Nanton Museum takes great pride in is their local history. When you walk through the museum, most of the donated artifacts and the stories told are from and about local people. One recent example is the Canadair CT-114 Tudor painted in snowbird colors. The plane was flown by Captain Dan Robinson of Nanton. Longtime president and current Bomber Command Vice President Dan Fox says it took a bit of doing to get the jet to Nanton.
It was from surplus to the RCAF down in Mountain View in Ontario, and it was on the lineup of Tudor jets that were going to be scrapped. So we paid scrap price for it, which was about $2,500, and we bought it. It was unpainted. It was silver because it was a training plane at the time. This plane actually flew with the Snowbirds, and Dan Robinson actually flew this plane occasionally. And anyway, it retired as a trainer and then was going to be scrapped, and that's when we picked it up, had it shipped out here. A friend of ours in Rocky Mountain House did the paint job on it over one winter, and then we hauled it down here, wings and fuselage separately, and put it back together, and here it sits.
The Bomber Command Museum of Canada can be found in downtown Nanton alongside Highway 2. They're open daily with admission by donation.